in our area where somebody can stay with us for 3 months, and then if they're completing the program and working on it and they need a little bit longer, they can have up to 5 months with us. We know that it takes quite some time to rebuild when you've come to us with maybe a bag, if that, if you were able to grab that bag when you left. So we know it takes time. So with that, when somebody's staying with us in shelter, they're working with our case manager, and then there's a PATH program, and that person's working with them on they need resumes, job seeking, if we need to help get them their birth certificate, social security card, driver's license, because we know a lot of times the important document is left behind when you're fleeing a bad situation. That is also equated into the timeline that we have with them. So any questions about that part? Our room administration.
So
I am so sorry if someone asked a question and I did not hear it.
I think it was just background noise. I don't think they were asking a question. Sorry about that.
Perfect timing though. Ask a question, hear some background noise. Perfect. I'll show you some pictures of the shelter as we go a little bit further on. But it, you know, we know that it's a shelter, but we try to make it as much of a home as possible. Our director is phenomenal at that. So they all have, you know, furniture in the living room. We have couches and love seats. They're mission furniture, so the sides of the furniture stay a little bit longer because they're wood, so it's easier to maintain. But our kitchens have granite countertops and the refrigerators. So a family comes in, there's 4 beds in each room. If they need past that one room, they can have 2 rooms. They'll share a bathroom and the kitchen. And when we say they share the kitchen, there's the refrigerators kind of divided. So there's shelvings for each, and then in the kitchen there's shelving for each person that needs it in the homes. So they can cook their meals just like they would if they were at home. We don't make them cook their meals together. The reason is we know they're trying to build a routine that they haven't had or restart a routine that they once had. So that is what we make sure that our clients have. We do have a transitional unit. So we have 14 beds in our transitional unit. So if somebody has completed our program and they weren't able to find housing, they just wanted some extra help, they can stay with us in our transitional housing for 12 months. It's still under our umbrella, but they don't have as many check-ins with us and not as many rules when they're in the transitional units, because we do have a shelter manager who lives on site. So if you're staying with us, we're asking you to be up at 8 and you know, working on those routines with kiddos and in at 8, and less work, of course, that we work with work schedules. But we're doing that to make sure we have safety plans in place for everyone and that they're setting the best possibilities for when they leave us. And we want everyone to succeed, much like everybody else does. So our goal is to make sure they have everything. I like to tell our clients, you know, kind of the use us, take advantage of everything we could possibly give you while you're with us. So 14 beds are available for transition. And again, it's more on their own, but still kind of under our umbrella. Here are some pictures of our shelter. So I want you to see there are 4 beds in each room, so 2 sets of bunk beds. Yes, they all have down comforters, and there's a wonderful church that makes some quilts for us. Everyone gets a new pillow when they come because ew, gross, right? Who wants to use a used pillow when you're coming in somewhere? So everyone gets their own new pillow and blankets, and we have lots of linens for them to switch out. When somebody leaves, we clean the unit so it's all ready for when somebody new comes in. The other picture that you're looking at is a picture of our kitchen. Again, it's much like you would think your kitchen might look like, my kitchen might look like. I would say that shelter's kitchens are a little nicer than mine, but we want to make it a home for them. The bottom picture that you're seeing is in one of our bigger units. It is our biggest unit, so it has the biggest dining room table, so everyone can kind of sit around it. But as you can see, what you're seeing there is books and movies. So where we're at, we might not be able to get them cable. We wish we could, But we definitely have DVD players and movies so that they can watch them throughout their stay with us. Then this is a picture of our living room. And like I said, the mission furniture. So then you go over and you see the flat screen TV and down the way. We want you guys to see that this is what our shelter looks like. This is what all the units look like. It's not that common scary room that you might think of, that we think of because we see it on TV. They're all sharing bunk beds in one big room. There's one common kitchen. There's not. It's much, much better than that. And it is living, almost like little living spaces for each family or client or single person. So some of our programs, like I said, we do have support groups that we're about to start up again. We had 3 before COVID each week, and we're looking for at least 3 or more. We have Seeking Safety that we're offering here at our office, which is new, and we've just started that. So they're in the middle of the first 12-week session. We know that we will continue doing Seeking Safety, and there's no charge to take our Seeking Safety or any of our support groups. And our support groups are for victims of domestic violence, and they're led by different individuals. So we've had a counselor with her MFT, a social worker, a peer counselor, and we find that having the different individuals facilitating the meetings gives everybody a better opportunity to see the different ways that support groups can be led. And then everyone kind of finds the few that they like, and those are their favorites to attend. We have our advocates at the courthouse that help with all of the temporary protection orders and stalking orders. They attend court with clients, and it's open to our community. So it's not just those that are staying with us or that we've helped on the crisis line, if anybody in our community. So they're there 5 days a week. They're phenomenal at what they do, and they also help with sexual assault restraining orders. Our parenting program, she has a phenomenal program that she uses, and she does parenting classes that are open to the community, not just for our clients, but if you are one of our clients staying with us, you get to meet with her weekly, and she has a curriculum that she goes over with them that they complete while they're with us. So she also does a support group with the families. And the best part of having a parenting coordinator on staff is that she can really meet with the families and help them with anything that they might need. She'll go to school with the parents and make sure that they're getting every possible thing that they might need, or if they're transitioning schools or in any different stuff that they might need, she's right there to walk with them. We have a teen dating and violence program, which I'm lucky to lead. So I get to go into the schools and talk about teen dating violence. We go over red flags and the power and control, the teen power and control wheel. And my hope is that we give them some red flags to look out for so that hopefully they don't end up with us later in life. So that's kind of a fun program. And we have the sexual assault program, which has the 24-hour crisis hotline. We accompany clients to the hospital while they're making support, while they're having a sexual assault exam. We are the one piece that will stay with them from beginning to end, from potentially making that initial police report to going to court, which can take years. So we will be there, we'll give them referrals, we want to get them counseling, and we will be there holding their hand as they go through each step on that path to being a survivor. Because as you guys all know, while we're talking and we're using the word victim, it's only because we're talking and we're training. But when somebody's coming to us, they're a survivor. They're only a victim while it's happening. So we always talk with our survivors, but for training purposes, we say victim and use batter and abuser back and forth. We have our thrift store, Classy Seconds. The best part of Classy Seconds is now we're in the same parking lot. We're right next to our store. But the plus is that anything that's sold there goes to keeping our shelter doors open. And all our clients get to go and shop there for free. And when you're rebuilding an apartment or a new home and you need those things when you're leaving, our clients get to go and get them at no cost. So we work with other community agencies. So if you're going into a new job and you need, even if it's black and white, so you need that, you need 5 outfits to get you going, business attire, we're going to let you go and shop in our boutique, which has name brand outfits. Both men and women have a boutique at our thrift store. So you get to go and shop there so that we can get you started if you're going for those interviews. We have annual events. The biggest one is the Taste of Downtown, and we are so excited that we are back up and running this year after COVID. So we are going to have our Taste of Downtown September 11th. We have the Light After Dark in October, and really the Light After Dark is to bring awareness to domestic violence and sexual assault. We have Christmas. You know, one of the best things about working here is over and over we've heard that the Christmas is spent with advocates where you would think would be horrific, right? Have been the best that a lot of families have ever had. We've had kiddos that have experienced Christmas with us come back years later and say that was the best Christmas I ever had. So we try and make it from their Christmas tree to all their Christmas presents and the crafts in between. We try and make it the best holiday season if they're with us during those times. We have phenomenal volunteers. We have 2 sets of volunteers on both teams, domestic violence and sexual assault, who answer our crisis calls or respond out on calls. So between the 2 teams, we have over 50 volunteers, and they take a lovely training facilitated by me and a few others in our staff, 75 or 55 hours. So they're ready to help at a moment's notice. And here is our last slide. So it kind of just shows you, we have our thrift store, our websites, our Facebooks, and that is Advocates in Carson City in a nutshell. Does anybody have questions for me?
I have a question. Do you provide transportation from Reno to Carson City to enter your shelter?
We do not offer transportation, but what we will try and do is get them on, say, a bus, and then we can pick them up at the bus station, but we're not able to transport or go pick them up and bring them here. We don't do a lot of transportation. Even with our clients, if they need to go to doctor's appointments or get to other appointments that are crucial to that or to court, we can do that, but we don't do a ton of transportation. Great question. Anybody else? All right. And I'm sorry, I didn't see if there were any questions in the chat box as I was.
No, there were no questions in the chat box.
Perfect. You guys, thank you so much for letting us go first and letting us present to you guys. We really do appreciate it, and I can't wait to learn what everybody else is doing.
Well, thanks so much for presenting.
If you guys have questions that come up as we go through, please feel free to put them in the chat. And if we have time at the end, we will get to additional questions. And with that, I think we'll move to Shannon from step 2. And Shannon, I believe you wanted me to play a video, correct? If you're talking, I can't hear you. Shannon, can't hear you. So,
Thinking her vocals might not be working.
Yeah. Shannon, if you want to work on trying to get your audio going, Bree, do you feel comfortable going next? And then we'll try to go back to step 2.
Sure.
Okay, let me make you presenter. Okay.
Okay, can everyone see my screen?
Yes, we can see it.
Perfect. So I'm Bree Burgess. I'm the supervisor at the Victim Services Unit for the Reno Police Department. And I am really excited to present to you. Our agency is more about crisis intervention and initial intervention with victims. And so a lot of what we do is collaborating, working a lot with the community and referring to all the agencies that are represented today. So we are a civilian unit located within the police department. We are available 24/7, 365 days a year. We have 4 different advocates that rotate on our on-call shift, and they usually are on call from a Friday to another Friday. So they're on call for an entire week. We have advocates assigned to different detective units, and we do a rotation with that just to make sure people have the experience with all the different detectives, and also to probably really avoid burnout with any specific kind of crime category. And we provide direct services to all victims of violent crime. So we've been around since 1998, and we had started with one part-time advocate who actually her father was murdered. And so she was really interested in focusing on supporting and helping survivors of homicide. And then we've now expanded to having a full-time supervisor, 5 full-time advocates. We have a part-time SOCI advocate, which focuses mainly on our sexual assault investigation cases. We have a volunteer coordinator, who is also our outreach coordinator, and then an office assistant. And then we have right now about 15 to 25 volunteers and interns. We typically keep about 6 to 7 interns per semester. We've increased quite a bit just because of there's not a lot of opportunities for interns. A lot of people decided not to take interns during COVID. So we have a few more interns than we normally would have. And then we recently added positions of public service intern positions to really focus on adding additional direct services and to help with follow-up for cases where advocates are moving on to the next case that's come up. We are funded by the City of Reno, by VOCA, the AG's office, and OVC. We've really looked at diversifying funding to make sure all the areas and all the victims that we need to serve are served by these different types of grants. Our mission is that we proudly serve victims of crime, treating them with respect and dignity while responding to their needs and concerns. We really focus a lot actually on empowerment and supporting victims and providing the tools, but not necessarily holding their hand and taking them through the entire process. I wanted to share with you guys the goals for VSU just because they're really important to us, and we talk about them all the time with our team, and we share them with other agencies just so they kind of know where we're coming from. One of our main goals is really to focus on increasing community awareness and education around domestic violence and sexual assault. We really have this goal for so many reasons. One of the major reasons is to create a bigger support system for victims as they're surviving these traumas. We also have a goal of collaborating effectively with law enforcement, community partners, and sorry, I don't know what happened. And then empowering victims by providing information about their rights, resources, referrals, and providing the tools to begin their healing journey. Victims' rights are really, really important to us, and it's a big part of what victim advocates do is really explain victims' rights as they pertain to their different crimes that they experience. And there are really different rights kind of set out depending on the type of crime. And then really we want to focus on creating a safer community. These are all the different crime categories. I'm not going to read through them, but I just wanted you guys to kind of see kind of the breadth of the cases that we serve. A lot of times I think about 40% of our cases are domestic violence. A lot of times people think, oh, they just do domestic violence, or they just do child abuse because we're at the CAC, or they just do sexual assault cases. But we really do serve all victims in all crime categories. In certain areas, we're trying to improve our services because there's so much greater need than we can actually meet. So a lot of times we have to kind of triage our cases, and we assign our cases every single morning. We go through every single police report that's been reported, and we identify which ones are high risk, medium risk, and low risk, and then we kind of determine how we can assign those cases. There are a lot of cases that we're not able to assign just because, like I said, the need is so much greater than our capacity. So here, this actually gives you a better idea of what I was talking about. So this is kind of a breakdown, just so you can have an idea of what our stats look like and what kind of cases what kind of victims we serve. And then I wanted to let you guys know we also do the U visa. So if you ever have a victim who would qualify for U visa, which is really it's basically if they filed a police report and they've cooperated with law enforcement and prosecution, if prosecution is even where the case goes, they could apply for a U visa. And we did 63 last year, which is actually lower than normal. But what it is we do the certification for them. And then once we do the certification, you can process through and work with Wash Legal Services, is what we refer to a lot, Nevada Legal Services, to Casa Latina, any of the services that will really help with the U visa process, Catholic Charities. And then we're really involved in the community. And even in 2020, we did 64 community outreach and training presentations. If you ever are interested in learning more about how, like what we do and how we can kind of work together, we're always happy to do that. We really focus on making sure that victims know what's out there for them. And then we had 171 cases. So these are just some of the services that are provided by VSU. We pretty much respond anywhere. I know on here I put the hospital because we go to the hospital quite often. We will go to a victim's residence, on scene, to the crime scene, the courthouse, pretty much anywhere that law enforcement is. We do not respond unless law enforcement's with us, unless it's a completely safe, stable situation. But typically we're responding right when the crime occurs. We assist with death notifications, so that's pretty much with our homicides and our traffic fatalities. We assist with property return. So if you ever have a victim that isn't giving their items from evidence, we can help with that. We do a lot of information referrals. Counseling is a big one, just because we pretty much offer counseling to everyone, because we work a lot with the Victims of Crime program and making sure that application is completed. We really do comprehensive safety planning, and it's kind of a safety planning assessment throughout our time working with victims. We coordinate funeral arrangements and crime scene cleanup, coordinate compensation claims for Nevada State Compensation Program. We assist with relocation, which could be, we give bus passes, we can also do gas cards, we can send them on the Greyhound, we've flown people. It really depends on the urgency of needing to get them from Reno to somewhere else, on the way that we will get them out of here. A lot of times that's really the only option, is to relocate someone, especially when their safety is severely compromised. We have been expanding our services with respect to cold case advocacy, especially with our SACI grant, but also we've been looking at homicide and cold case advocacy. We do family meetings, which is basically anytime a family would like to review the evidence and has questions for detectives, we will be available to meet with the detectives and the family. We assist with media. A big part of the media is just really helping people understand what their rights are with respect to media and explain what may or may not happen with the media. We do a lot with memorial ideas, emergency shelters. So we will place victims in motel rooms. We try to make it more temporary. We know there's other services that can be a little bit more long-term. We try to stay between like a 2 and 4 day stay. There are times where there isn't another option, especially during COVID, where we've had to place people for a week if they were testing positive for COVID, or 2 weeks. We provide food. We do a lot with Salvation Army is one of our best supporters of this, where they will provide the snacks and things like that. We pick them up. But we also buy groceries. If like a strangulation victim, we almost always have to buy groceries because they can only eat soft foods. So we'll purchase groceries. We'll give them gift cards to grocery stores. We have gift cards for restaurants as well, just so that they can get pizza or something for the kiddos that are staying there. We do clothing. Primarily our clothing we will purchase, but we do have a closed closet that is just supported by law enforcement donations. We try not to take too many donations from the community because we have a hard time even maintaining the donations from law enforcement. And then we have love packs for children that we provide whenever we place families of domestic violence. We provide a love pack, which is created by one of our partners in the community, makes those for us. And then transportation, I think I already talked a little bit about this, but we do bus passes, gas cards, relocation, and then we also have some city vehicles, so we will transport as well. Immigration advocacy and referrals, again, that's a lot to do with the U visa. We do have 3 bilingual advocates as well that can support, and we also have Voyance, which provides access to, I want to say it's like 70 or 80 different languages, and so you can do like a video conference call, we can do phone. So we try to do as much as we can, especially when victims are in crisis. It's really hard, even if they know English, it's easier to communicate with them in their primary language. We provide emergency childcare. That is more if there is a victim is being interviewed, and then we can maybe help with childcare. We can sit with the child and the family. We provide diapers, formula, infant necessities. That's primarily donation as well. Sometimes we'll purchase, especially when kiddos have like a sensitive formula. We've had times where they have the specific formula, so we'll purchase those items. We work with a locksmith and do lock changes, window, door replacement, crisis intervention and support services. That is a significant part of what we do. Is we're really looking at crisis stabilization, and we really look to our partnering agencies to refer as much as possible to meet the other needs of our victims. We do work with an alarm system, and on a case-by-case basis, we can install alarms and help them with the registration fee. And then registration with VINE, that's anytime someone's arrested, we make sure they're registered with VINE to be notified when the offender is released. And then emergency protection orders. We really focus a lot on after hours, because after hours there's a lot of services available, so we really work with victims to try to make sure they can get those emergency protection orders. This is a little bit about the different kinds of organizations we present to. We do teach at the academy twice a year, both the regional academy where all the departments come together and are trained, and then also our individual PTO academy, and then really just in the community. These are the community meetings we attend. We really want to be as involved as possible and learn as much about what other agencies have going on and what supports are available for victims. So these are just a few of the ones we attend. We try to attend as many as we can. If you guys ever have any ideas of meetings you think that would be beneficial for us to attend, or you would like us to attend, we always are happy to hear and see what that would be something we could work out. We have a volunteer intern program. It was developed in 2007. It was the first system-based victim advocate program, and it's really kind of expanded. We went back and forth, but right now our volunteers are getting case assignments just like the advocates. So before they were on call with us, and then they would help with on-call cases, but it was challenging to do that. So right now they get assigned cases as we go. So we just look through our cases and we triage them and determine which ones would be eligible for a volunteer assignment. And they pretty much provide advocacy on cases of domestic violence, stalking, and harassment. For 2020, I just was going to share with you guys our numbers. We had 2,200 volunteer and intern hours. And there's that. So that's all I have for you. I just wanted to provide information on how to contact VSU if you guys have any other questions, or wanted to invite us to meet with you, or have you guys come to one of our team meetings. That's all I got. Thank you.
Thanks, Bree. I didn't see any questions come in on the chat. Does anybody have any questions for Bree or RPD? All right, well, if you have any questions that pop up, go ahead and put them in the chat. We're going to try to see if Shannon's vocals are working this time.
I switched computers, so I'm hoping this works.
Yay, I can hear you this time. Yay.
Okay, let me make myself presenter, and then you wanted me to play the video, right?
Yes, so the video does have audio as well. So it's a virtual tour of the Step 2 campus. And just a little preface on that Step 2 is a substance use disorder treatment center for women. And about 95%, over 95% of our clients do present with domestic violence in their histories. So we have a fairly robust trauma and domestic violence program here as well. So I just wanted to preface that, and then the video should tell you a little bit about the program and a great look at the campus, and then I can answer any questions at the end.
Great. So I had a little bit of trouble getting the audio on the video, so I'm going to play it. I'm going to put the closed captions on, and if you guys can't hear it or are having problems, let me know in the chat, please. Oh my God, now I have no volume. Wait 1 second. Why is there no volume? It was working a minute ago. Oh, I know why. Okay, just kidding.
Right here
I apologize. I don't know.
I think we'll probably just have to do the closed captioning, Julie, because I think when you have your phone hooked up to the computer, it's doing an echo. And then while we're trying to figure out this, there was a question come in for our PD. Are you able to assist Sparks residents? And she answered that there is a Sparks VSU program. Jen Olson and Isis Morales are the advocates there. And then Jackie asked if you have a long waiting list, and I'm not sure if she was asking for step 2 or for RPD, but do either of you have a waiting list?
We have about 5 people on our waiting list right now.
Thank you.
I'm going to try this again. All right, I'm doing it without the audio. Sorry about that. There is subtitles. Hopefully people can read.
Julie, do you want me to share my screen? Would that be better?
Oops, I was talking on mute. I think we'll have the same audio problems, but if you want to try that, we can do that. Or you, I don't know, do you want me to restart the video or what would you like?
Is everybody okay to read it, or should I read it while we're watching it?
And I don't see anybody's feedback.
I'm fine with reading it, but I'm a reader, so.
Okay, so I'll start it, and if you need me to pause or stop and you want to add anything, let me know.
So that's a very quick kind of tour just to see what the campus looks like. If a woman stays with us for our recommended period of time, she's with us maybe for about 15 to 18 months, 3 to 4 of those months being in the residential facility, and then the rest of the time being on the transitional campus so that she can develop a healthy lifestyle and gain a community around her. We also encourage them to step out into the community, and we partner with some of the domestic violence resources here in Reno and some of them in Carson City, and they are able to kind of create a community of support around them so that they have that all in place when they try to strike out on their own.
Great,
Does anybody
thank
have
you.
I'm sorry?
Yes, I was going to say, does anybody have any questions? Feel free to unmute yourself and ask questions, or if you want to bring up a discussion topic that anybody thought of as you were hearing these great presentations, feel free to unmute yourself or use the chat box, whichever you're more comfortable with.
Yeah, and thank you guys for your presentations. And we'll include the link to this video so that you guys can watch it and listen to it if you need to.
Well, I'm not seeing any questions or hearing any questions. I really want to thank everybody who presented today. Great presentations. I really appreciate you guys volunteering, and I think it's so useful to hear all the information on all the great services that are going on in our community. Next month, we will have Crisis Support Center and Awaken presenting, and we have one remaining opening, so if anybody else is interested in presenting, that would be great. We do have a comment in the chat box for Step 2 that Step 2 is a great agency, and the coworker and myself enjoy coming into Step 2 with programming. So just kudos to Step 2 in the chat box in case some of you can't see that. Jean or anybody have any final comments for this meeting?
I don't. I think it's been nice to get to know the agencies a little bit more. Liz over at Family Counseling says she's got 13 spots still available at the Summer of Healing Camp, 1 male under age of 14 and 12 females up to 18. Applications can be sent out to the agencies, and you need to apply soon to hold a spot if you're interested in or would like to get more information about that Summer of Healing Camp. But thank you guys so much for your presentations. I really appreciate all of the time and effort that you put into this, and just getting to know the individual organizations in our communities. I think it's great to develop those partnerships and those collaborations. So I really appreciate you guys taking the time to do this every month.
Me too. Does anybody have any questions or comments after all of that? Or for Family Counseling Services about their summer camp that has openings? Oh, Liz put her contact information in the chat box. Thank you. All right, I'm not hearing any, so we'll give you guys back 15 minutes of your day. Please reach out to me if you want to present next month. Like I said, we have one other agency opening. So we'd love to have 3 agencies present each time, and have a great week, and hopefully you guys are all enjoying your summer. Oh, and Shannon shared her email in the chat box also. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.